stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everybody. Okay, called to order. We have one recognition here. I don't see him here.
He's right here. He showed his
mustache. Showed your mustache off. He's back here. I didn't see you.
He was hiding behind me.
Well, Richard Ely with our Veterans Affairs Department. He's the director. 5 years of service. Rich, thank you for your service and the hard work you're doing in our office for us. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
I will take my certificate and run. I have that.
There you go. And we thank
I
you.
will sell my seat to the highest bidder.
No, we'll have none of that.
Since I wore my nurse's cap.
Look at you. I get you. You look so professional.
All right, item number 1.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 1 is listed on the agenda. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 1 on the agenda, approve the minutes of the April 24th meeting. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. So carried. Item number 2.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 2 at 9:02. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 2 on the agenda to recess Commissioners meeting and open the salary board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Salary board, item number 1.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 10th meeting. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve the minutes of the April 10th meeting. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so carried. Item number 2.
Make a motion to approve item number 2 is listed on the agenda. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 2, eliminate the full-time position of Human Resource Administrative Coordinator. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item 3.
Make a motion to approve item number 3 is listed on the agenda. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 3 on the agenda to create the full-time non-union position of Human Resource Administrative Coordinator at $14.38 per hour, 40 hours per week. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item 4.
I'll make a motion. I'll make a motion to approve item number 4 is listed on the agenda. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 4 on the agenda to eliminate the position of Head Real Estate Tax Clerk, certified as of May 8th. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item number 5.
Make a motion to approve item number 5 is listed on the agenda. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 5 on the agenda to create the full-time union-eligible position of Senior Head Real Estate Tax Clerk. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item number 6.
Make a motion to approve item number 6 is listed on the agenda. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 6 on the agenda to eliminate the full-time position of Grant Coordinator Payroll AP Clerk. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item 7.
Make a motion to approve item number 7 is listed on the agenda. I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 7 on the agenda to create the full-time non-union position of Accounting Clerk HR Support. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Any public comment in relation to the salary board? Yes.
It seems that we just eliminated positions and then created positions that are virtually the same. I assume that there are basically just changes in the job duties.
Yes, and 7 is a change in job duties, and also the same with number 5. Basically taking 2 types of positions and combining them together. Any other questions? Okay, hearing none, can I get a motion to
I make a motion to close the salary board meeting at 9:05.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Arnold, second by Commissioner Warren to close the salary board meeting and return to the Commissioners meeting. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So carried. Back to the Commissioners meeting. Item number 3.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 3 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 3 on the agenda, ratify or approve the following cash disbursements, electronic payments. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Item number 4.
Make a motion to approve item number 4 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 4 on the agenda, to ratify or approve the following seminar requests or payments for seminar requests. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Item number 5.
Make a motion with a change of ratify and approve. That's listed on the agenda, the rest of it.
I'll second that with the changes made.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 5, to ratify and approve the termination of Marjorie Perry from the full-time union eligible position of Assistant Director of Elections. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item number 6.
Make a motion to approve item number 6 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 6, approve the hiring of Melissa Brunges of Montrose to the open union eligible position of Assistant Director of Elections. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Item 7.
Make a motion to approve item number 7 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 7 on the agenda, approve hiring of Brianna Kurgan of Windsor, New York to the open non-union position of Human Resources Administrative Coordinator. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Item number 8.
Make a motion to approve item number 8 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 8 on the agenda to ratify and approve the hiring of Madison Severcool of Montrose to the open union eligible position of part-time corrections officer. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item number 9.
Motion by, I'll, sorry about that. I make a motion to approve item number 9 on the agenda.
I'll second that, but should it be union eligible position?
Yes.
Or,
Teacher
okay.
to the open union.
You agree with that change?
Yes.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Arnold, second by Commissioner Warren to approve item 9 on the agenda, ratify and approve the transfer of Samantha Wickheiser from the union eligible position of head state real estate tax clerk certified to the open union eligible position of senior head real estate tax clerk certified. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Item 10.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 10 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve 10 on the agenda, to rescind the April 24, 2019 motion by the Commissioners for the agreement with the Pennsylvania District Attorneys Institute. Questions or comments?
What is that all about?
It was the Savin that we approved a proclamation for at the last meeting. There was some issues with the agreement, so we've decided not to approve it at this time until they can fix it. What?
That's in the next motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And as you can see in the next motion, they got it straightened out. So item 11.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 11 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren and second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 11 to authorize Commissioners to sign the maintenance and service agreement between the Pennsylvania District Attorneys Institute and Susquehanna County for a period of January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019 for the Savin software used in the District Attorney's Office and the Susquehanna County Correctional Facility. Questions or comments? All? Yes.
Who normally approves things like that?
I'm sorry?
Who normally approves things like that? I see the commissioners needed to get permission in order to do that.
I can't hear you. You got to speak up.
Who normally approves something like that?
We do.
Well, it looks like you had to give yourself permission to do it. I guess that's.
Well, you have to approve signing any type of agreement. has to be done in a public meeting. Any type of agreement that we sign has to be approved in a public agreement, in a public meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 12.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 12 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warner and second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 12, to enter an agreement with HRCC, HR Compensation Consultants of LLC out of Boynton Beach, Florida for compensation consulting services in the amount of $27,500. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 13.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 13 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 13 on the agenda, to enter into a purchase of service agreement with Supervised Independent Living Program in Columbia, PA, to provide child welfare services at a per diem rate of $126.57 for a certificate 36119, unit ID AA, and $157.33 for a certificate 36704, and let's see, and that's the last one. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item 14.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 14 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 14 on the agenda, enter into a purchase of service agreement with Northampton County Juvenile Justice Treatment Center, Easton, PA, to provide child welfare services at a per diem rate of $260 for the certificate stated, and $260 for another certificate, and $260 for another one. Questions or comments?
Yes. These certificates are for supervised living programs for children in treatment center. We don't have anything for child services like that in the county?
These services that are provided are specific for the individuals that are being sent there. Some services, I do not believe we have any in-house services in this county. Most of them are in either Lackawanna, Luzerne, or throughout the state. That they're all approved through the state, these services.
So does that mean that our kids from our county are going somewhere else?
Either they're going there or people are coming here. We do have some kids in other counties.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Item 16.
Item
15.
15, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 15 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, approve item 15 on the agenda, enter into an agreement to participate in the Pennsylvania Medical Assistance Transportation Program effective July 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2020. Questions or comments? Yes.
Are there any updates from the legislators on postponing the state move?
The only update I've got, I did meet with Lisa Baker. She has a bill she's working on to try and get this thing stalled so that additional studies can be done, and we're waiting for that to see how that goes through.
I know that's received support from other counties.
Yeah, it's a big, huge
And from the township
issue.
supervisors.
Yeah, it's a huge issue in the state. You know, when you try to take the dispatching for medical assistance transportation and you take it out of the counties and you move it to a call center someplace in the state, that's going to be a big problem.
I think CCAP also came out.
Yep, CCAP also came out and supported trying to get it stalled and stop the program. All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 16.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 16 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 16, to approve proclamation 2019-11 as Nurses Week for Endless Mountains Health Systems, May 6th, 12th through the 12th recognition. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. And I think we have some people who are here from Endless Mountains, and here is your proclamation that we have for you. And we thank you for all your hard work and the work that you're doing for our communities.
Well, it's our pleasure, and we appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Item number 17.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 17 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
A motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to
It's me, sorry.
I have a motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 17, to approve proclamation 2019-12 Nurses Week, Barnes Case on Hospital, May 6th through the 12th recognition. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. So carried. We have some people from Barnes here today. Yes. Here is your certificate. We appreciate it very much. Thank you for all your hard work and doing such a great job for our community.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
You're all special people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No wonder we ran out of seats.
A lot of nurses.
Wow, thank you.
You can always count on me for that.
Item number 18.
I make a motion to approve item number 18 on the agenda.
I'll second it. Sorry.
Motion by Commissioner Arnold, second by Commissioner Warren, to approve item 18 on the agenda, to approve proclamation 2019-13, and I'll probably kill this, but May as Von Hippel-Lindau Awareness Month, VHL.
Did we get it
Question?
right?
Yes.
All right. Questions or comments?
Can you explain what that is?
Well, I think we have an expert here.
We do.
If you would like to.
Von Hippel-Lindau, VHL, is a rare genetic form of cancer that affects up to 10 parts of the body. I'm first in family, so I'm the first person in my family to have it. But I've had 6 brain surgeries, 2 kidney surgeries, over 50 laser surgeries on my eyes. I have mobility issues, obviously. I have vision issues because of it. And it's a very unpredictable disease, so it doesn't strike the same person or the same family even the same way. So you have to stick to really strict monitoring guidelines, and it's not a fun disease. So May is Von Hippel-Lindau Awareness Month, and I'm on the board of directors for the VHL Alliance, so that's why I'm here.
And please tell us your name.
Dina Wickheiser, sorry.
And how many years have you struggled with this?
I was diagnosed in 1993. 92 actually. My first surgery was 93.
And that same year they discovered the gene.
Yeah, it's caused, the really exciting thing about von Hippel-Lindau is they've identified a gene that causes it, and that same gene is what causes all other kinds of cancer. So if they're able to cure von Hippel-Lindau, and they have actually come out with 8 medications based on research for VHL, and there is another one that's in clinical trials right now and is showing very much promise. They can actually cure a lot of other forms of cancer as well, including breast, kidney, lung, and cancers in the eye. So it's a really good cancer research thing to get behind. Everybody knows cancer. Everybody knows somebody who has cancer.
We've lit up the tree hopefully by the end of today. The pine tree on the green will be lit up in navy blue lights. That's their color, and there's a sign out there for VHL. So thank you for bringing that to us, Art, and teaching us about it today.
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we have a certificate here for you that we'd like to give you with the proclamation in it that's signed by all of us.
I did get a mom picture.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Betsy. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully you got it.
Several mom pictures.
I can shake your
If you want to
hand.
get one in the hall,
Thank you.
Okay, item 19.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 19 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 19 on the agenda, to approve proclamation 2019-14, May as Older Americans Awareness Month. Questions or comments?
Did we get a question?
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 20.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 20 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Item number 20, motion by Commissioner Warren, sent by Commissioner Arnold, to approve the following stated Tax Claim Bureau exoneration request. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. Item number 21.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 21 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, sent by Commissioner Arnold, to approve item 21, to open a 3-month certificate of deposit with Honesdale National Bank for City PA with $4 million from Act 13 account at an interest rate of 2.50 per the recommendation of Jason Miller. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 22.
I'll make a motion to approve item number 22 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve item 22. To open and award the following, the review of the solicitor sealed bids for the 2007 Chevy Impala and 2013 Black Ford Explorer. Okay. Yeah, that's in 2013. That's got both of them in it. Let's just open it up and see what I got. Alright, here's one for, this is for the 2013 SUV. We got a bid of $11,101. This one is
This
20.
isn't, sorry, this isn't the right motion. It's not, we're not doing this
Oh, we're
one.
not doing that. Where's the one for, this is 2000 Chevy Impala. They're both on the same bid right here, this one and that one. I know that one's there, but it's there too. So 2007 Chevy Impala, we got $507 out of Chicago Motors. $2,000 Chevy Impala, $431 out of Emergency Remarketing. Chevy Impala is $427 out of the Naples. That's 2013, that's 2013. $2,007 Chevy Impala, $600. Alright, so on that one. That goes for that stuff there. Alright, so the 2000 Chevy Impala, the highest bidder is out of Eastman Auto in Carbondale for $600. All right, and that is for motion 22. I need a motion to approve after solicitor's bid. Got a motion by Commissioner Warren, signed by Commissioner Arnold. Any other questions on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item number 23.
No, we're still doing 20.
No, there is only one 2013 Ford.
Yes, there's only one.
So what is it then?
Cross this out, that doesn't belong there. It's right here.
So there's no Ford Explorer?
That's what this is here, the SUV.
Oh.
Right. So 23, any motion for 23?
I'll make a motion to approve item number 23 is listed on the agenda.
And I'll second that.
Okay, motion 23 is to open and award following the review of the solicitor bid on municipalbid.com for the 2013 Ford SUV. We have municipal bid for $11,101, going to Terrence Brown out of Maryland, it's a government agency. And then we have $2,400 out of Eastman for that. And then we have 7507 out of Chicago Motors and 3031 out of Emergency Remarketing. And we have 3755 out of Bay Ridge Motors. And we have 627 out of Naples. So the highest winning bid, it would be Terrence Brown out of Maryland Government for $11,101. Any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So carried. All right, now that brings us to 24.
Make a motion to approve item number 24 is listed on the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Commissioner Warren, second by Commissioner Arnold to approve 24 to open award filing review. The solicitor bids on surplus items supplied by the maintenance department. So we got Donald Watkins, a finish mower of 85, brush hog of 75, and John Deere mower at 110. We have Dan Long of C&D for a finish mower of 126.50, John Deere mower at 256.60, a window at $5.25, 2 electric timers at $2, and 2 thermostats at $4. Some people can't follow instructions. Sealed bid on a county surplus truck, namely a 2013 Black Ford Explorer for $200. So that one loses out anyway. What happens? So this is from Jason Auckland. We got $5 for miscellaneous plastic, $1 for sink, $75 for finish mower, $130 for the brush hog, $6.30 for the mower, $5 for a window, $5 for another window, $5 for a bench, $1 for a string of lights, another $1 for a string of lights, $1 for 4 floodlights, $3 for 7 rolls of wire. And this is from Tracy Call, and this is one bid for the mower at $326.50. This is Matt Neen, $25 for a filing cabinet, and $15 for bundle insulation, another $15 for bundle insulation, another $15 for bundle insulation. And this is from Mylan Hibbard, and this is a filing cabinet for $20. Friedenall, we've got $151 for finish mower, $5 for Apollo window, $2 for 4-foot light, $2 for 4-foot light, $5 for a trailer hitch, $15 for bundle installation, $23 for bundle installation, and $20 for bundle installation, $5 for 2 LED light kits, $5 for a piece of heat tape, and $2 for 4 floodlights. Only a few more left. Okay, Elizabeth Janowski, $326 for finish mower, $40 for 4 white cabinets, $60 for 12 wooden chairs, and $5 for a 24 by 24 table. Don't know. Don't believe so. Maybe. 24 inch by 24 inch. Okay, Randy Powers Senior, $200 for a finish mower, $200 for a brush hog, $300 for the John Deere mower, $50 for 4 white cabinets. And let's see, Al Cybers, $3 for a filing cabinet, $3 for another filing cabinet, $3 for another filing cabinet, $2 for rubber coupling, $3 for 4 floodlights, $3 for 4 electric boxes, $30 for a finish mower, $75 for a brush hog, $333 for a mower, and $6 for 4 white cabinets. This one is Robert Ellis, $76.50 for a mower. Last one. Let's see. Robert Ellis again, $101.50 for Chevy truck bed. All right, these will all go to the chief clerk. He'll put them together, and we will get a document together as to who won what, and we'll present that at our next meeting. Chief Clerk. Okay. Do we approve that motion? All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Public comment on Commissioners meeting. Yes.
I just have a question. I'm just concerned about the old jail and wondering what the status is with that or what the plans are.
Currently, right now, the next step for the old jail is to have an engineer come in and analyze it to see what they can do with it or what the recommendations are, and that'll be the next step with it.
Okay.
The person we had 2 years ago that looked at it was not very favorable, his recommendations, but at this point we want to get an engineer to review it and look at it.
And if I have any other concerns about property lines, or it borders our property on the north side, would we be notified so that we can?
Are you with the Rosemont?
No. Rick and Eileen Craig, we live right behind the Rosemont. Our driveway comes down into the jail parking lot.
Oh, okay, on the back side of that,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, if there's any issues, we'll make sure we get with you on, or you can get with us, and we'll make sure that we address it and take care of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have some other guests here.
Okay.
How are you? My name's Robin Medeiros. I'm with the Scranton Board of Realtors.
Okay.
This is Brittany Kinsman. She's from PAR. You want me to stand up a minute? Can
Yeah,
you see me? Okay. Brittany is our field agent that covers the Northeast PA region from PAR. And we're just reaching out to county commissioners to form a relationship. It's something that the board has not done in the past, but we also have a PAR rep on board for all board meetings and interaction with all of the different counties now. So we're just reaching out to you to form a relationship with you and to let you know also we have grant money at a national level. If you have, if you're investing in any community projects, you can reach out to us and we can approach at the national level. Any PAR questions, we have Brittany here all of the time on board if we have any questions. And she's also put together some market profiles just to leave with you. So we've not had a relationship with county commissioners in the past. We're trying, so.
Okay, very good.
Okay?
All right, sounds great.
If you have
Thank
any
you for
questions,
coming.
just let us know.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Bill?
The tour, was the Secretary of Transportation take place, and how did it go?
It was a good tour. Actually, we had Secretary of Transportation, her main assistant. We had the director out of Dunmore. We also had the manager out of Montrose. Now, the director out of the manager of Montrose and director out of Dunmore are brand new. Actually, the Dunmore director is still a acting temporary. They haven't appointed him yet. and he actually came from Harrisburg, so it was a good tour. We spent 4 hours traveling a lot of the roads in the county, some of the worst roads that we had. They were, to say the least, Secretary Richards and the director out of Dunmore were pretty embarrassed as the road conditions and the way they were being maintained. Not only did they recognize that the repair work that was getting done wasn't being done properly, but the roads that had been done several years ago hadn't received the scheduled maintenance that they should be getting done too. So after a 4-hour ride, and we had a short meeting, and we also had a couple of the superintendents from a couple of schools there to talk about the safety for the children. Also the camps over in the eastern part of the county, where we'll have 20,000 kids coming in this summer for the camps and the conditions over there. So they are going back to try and put a plan together and some talking points as to how they're going to address it. They know it's everything from the sluice pipes not being cleaned and plugged, to ditches don't exist or they're 4 or 5 foot deep, to roads that should have been sealed, never got sealed, crack filling that never got done, and improper maintenance being done. So they are going to work on a plan to address all those issues, and we're hoping to hear something from them in the next week or two as to how they're going to address the road conditions up here and take care of them.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
If I can just add to that, I spoke with Representative Fritz yesterday, and he said that the state would be looking at a one-time influx of money to handle some of the repairs and and bring on contractors to facilitate it getting done quickly.
Right, and that's one of the things they brought up. Unfortunately in our area, the blacktop plants don't open up until mid-April if we're lucky, sometimes not till the end of April. And they close any place from, 1st of October to November, depending on the weather conditions. The gentleman that was part of the tour, the assistant, he was from Erie, Pennsylvania, and he says, if you think you got it bad here, our blacktop plants open up 1st of June, they close end of July. So he says we have a lot of problems trying to get work done up there. And he says the freeze-thaw cycle is a big issue up here. That's why a lot of the roads, the cracks you see going across the roads is all the shifting of the concrete base underneath. The other issue is that you don't see those cracks go from the center all the way out because the concrete back in the old days was only 8 foot wide instead of the road being 12 or 14 foot wide now. So that's why that 3 or 4 foot on the outside edge now is crumbling all the time, as there's no base underneath that. So they recognize that. They're working on a solution to fix those issues. But one of the bigger issues they acknowledge they have is they've lost a lot of knowledge in PennDOT. A lot of people have retired over the last 10, 15 years that had the knowledge on how to do a lot of stuff, and that knowledge never got passed on. So now they're in a intense training and knowledge center program to educate the workers on the proper way to do things and how things should be done. So there's a lot going on now, and it was probably after working on this now for, Billy, we've been working on it how many years now?
4 years about.
4 or 5 years we've been working on this, and this is the first time we got a light at the end of the tunnel, because they acknowledged out of Harrisburg the work that's been done here isn't correct, and the decisions that were made in the past weren't the best decisions for our county. And so now they're going to, I know they're looking at bringing contractors in to try and help and take care of some of the issues. The scary part about this is we're not the only county in this boat. If you go to Wayne County or Pike County and even Wyoming County, they've got a lot of the same problems. And to try and put it in perspective, if you just saw the Auditor General's report, $4.2 billion got skimmed off the sales tax that goes to fix the roads to get moved into the state police budget to fund them. So that's $4.2 billion that was supposed to come to fix the roads is not going to happen. Right now, she stated that they're putting about $500 million a year into the interstate system. The interstate system should get about $2 billion a year to maintain it, so they continue to go backwards on the interstate also. We do have major projects that are in design right now, like the Gibson interchange. That's supposed to happen in 2 years, replacing that bridge and changing the off-ramps. We also have 81 from the New Milford state line, New Milford line to the state line. That's going to get a total rebuild. They're going to rip everything out, bridges and everything, and redo the whole thing. That's in design. They're trying to do the design so they can always maintain 2 lanes each way. So they're working on that design now. That should happen, I would say, probably 2021, 2022 when we see that project take place. The big projects this year, of course, is Route 11 from Kingsley to New Milford. That section that didn't get done a year ago will get done. And from New Milford to the state line will get done. 171 from Halsted to Susquehanna will get done. And there's a lot of chipping work in the southeast corner that gets done on all the roads, chip and stone. And a lot of the other roads are going to get work done to them too. So it's a big list of stuff that they've got going. And we're hoping to get a schedule out of them in the next couple of weeks as to when this stuff's all going to happen and get done. The one road that's still closed, that's behind schedule, is Lower Lake Road. They've been trying to get that one culvert replaced. The problem is with all the rain, the water level's been too high, so they can't pour the concrete. They got it ripped out and they got it formed up, but they can't pour the concrete because the water's not cooperating. So if we can get a few dry days, the water level will hopefully go down and they can get that poured and we can get that road open back up. Liberty Park Road, my understanding, is open back up. So I got to go check on that one. Wickheiser.
Close sign was still up this morning.
Was it?
Yeah.
I got an alert that said it was open, so I'm going to have to go check it and see. But I know that bridge got approved and they were working on that bridge to get that one fixed and reopened. And the one on Wickheiser, that got let out to the contractors. So that one is under construction, so that one will get done this year and get that one back open. At that point, the only other one that's still closed is the one over on Stevens Point. And that one is, they're working on that one, trying to figure out the best repair and get that one done, get that one taken care of. So that was a case where it got undermined from the storm and it got froze up before they got it inspected. And unfortunately, one side's dropping because there's nothing underneath it. So that's kind of a summary of the roads and what's going on with it. You know, I got to thank the state representatives, Lisa Baker and Tina Pickett and Jonathan Fritz and Gene's Yaw office was all part of it, and they actually were the ones that reached out to me first to try and get pressure from the county back to the state through them and to get people kind of riled up to get some attention to the roads. And they were all on the tour together with us, and so it just shows that when everybody works together that we can get the attention we need and get some things done. So
I'd just like to say that's not the commissioner's job, but you've put an awful lot of work into that, and I appreciate it. I know we bugged you, but you bugged the people that need bugging, and I appreciate that.
Unfortunately, I've put in 7 tires on my car since last November at $1,750 because of potholes. So it may not be just because it's the right thing to do, and maybe a little selfish. I'm tired of buying tires too. So.
A question also related to roads. Did the Secretary mention anything about how money is allocated to our county? Spoke to some recently spoke to some PennDOT employees, and they claim that it's based solely on population of the county, rather than severity of the road or mileage of roads that we have.
Yeah, and that's the same problem we have with roads is the same problem the schools have. Like, because it's a rural school, it's all done on population. The same with the allocation of funds from PennDOT, it's based on population. So what we're trying to do right now is we're trying to get bills introduced right now to split up the winter maintenance from summer maintenance, because where our highest costs are is in the winter time because of our winters here. We spent so much money this last winter, it blew our summer maintenance budget, so they can't even bring summer workers in now until after July 1st, which is the beginning of the new fiscal year. So what we're trying to do is get that winter maintenance budget separated, because we will spend a heck of a lot more money in the winter up here than they will in Mechanicsburg, because they don't get the winters we get in the freeze and thaws. So that's something that the legislators, I've been working with the legislators on. They're working on trying to get something introduced on that. The Secretary, we did talk about the funding streams. The Secretary is working on, and her problem is she's got to go back to the legislators and say, listen, we need a new funding stream to change this around. We're not doing what we should be in the rural counties. The rural counties are suffering because we can't get the work done because all the money's going to the larger counties.
It just doesn't seem right that because we have a low population density, our vehicles and our safety and health aren't as much.
Yeah, we pay the same gas tax as everybody else, and I agree with you 100%. It's a huge problem, and but at least they're talking about it now. Up until a year ago, they wouldn't even give you the time of day. They wouldn't even talk to you about it. It was, listen, it's we're the state and we do what we need to do, and that's it. We don't want to talk about it. But at least now the conversations are going on. The legislators are introducing bills. So I mean, it's not something we're going to dig out of in a year. It's going to take several years to get all these problems resolved. But at least now I can see some movement going forward where they're going to address the issues and do something.
I had another question. I've been looking into a couple of years worth of county commissioners meetings, and it's kind of alarming to me to see the phenomenal amount of turnover in county governmental offices. And with the upcoming election, most concerning would probably be the termination of Ms. Pari from the election office. I just wonder if you feel that we're prepared for the upcoming primary in a week and a half. I think we may have hired a new person for this position earlier in the meeting, but it seems like experience and readiness for this election would be primary concern for everybody in this room.
Well, absolutely. And yes, I think we all feel that we are prepared. We have people in place now, and just because we're short one person and a new person starting, and the person in there doesn't have the most experience in the world, the procedures are in place. They follow the procedures. There's written procedures in that office as to how to do the jobs. So all of that is being followed. There's help available through the chief clerk's office. If that office needs additional help, that those individuals report to the chief clerk, and the chief clerk will provide additional help and take care of those issues. Yes.
I want to say I'm a board member for Forest Lake Township, and I can tell you that the training sessions for each individual polling precinct is top-notch, intensive, and well conducted, so that when the county board, the polling board sits, we are well aware of what we have to do on election day, and your county, your party committees are also aware of what has to happen and how it goes. So I think that coupled with, even though there's been a turnover in the voter registrar's office, we are secure in knowledge and know that when election day comes, we know exactly what we have to do, how to do it, and it will be done properly.
To answer the second part of your question on the amount of turnover, the county does have some turnover, and there's a couple different reasons. The first reason is that people come here and they learn a skill set, and then they move on to another job that pays a lot more money than what the county can afford to pay. And so they move forward. For instance, our sheriff's department and our corrections departments, the corrections go to state facilities, sheriff's department, they go on to the state police. There's no way that we can afford to pay people $70,000, $80,000 a year for those positions. We can't do that. So what we look at with those people, we usually have them for a few years, and it's a great opportunity for them to see what goes on in the county, but we also get their expertise for a few years before they move on, and those individuals usually help train new people and provide services to us that way. On the other hand, we do have some employees that just doesn't work out. They're not fit for the position. So
yeah, I certainly agree with that, but it seems to be also a pretty alarming amount of termination that takes place in various.
Well, again, like I said, you don't understand what the terminations are about, and it doesn't go into detail into things. So, again, the commissioners here, and I will tell you that 99% of the employees here are excellent employees and do a good job, but you always have the 1% that won't toe the line, and you have to hold them accountable and make them responsible for what they're supposed to be doing. This isn't a country club where people can come in at a half hour late or an hour late and only do what they want to do. There are things that have to be done. The taxpayers are paying them, and we expect them to provide the services the taxpayers are paying for.
I just mostly concerned about the elections office with the upcoming election. I'm a registered nurse, so I'll make a medical analogy. Just imagine you had brain surgery coming up in a week and a half, and your doctor just became certified before your surgery. Are you gonna feel comfortable with that doctor doing your surgery or somebody who's had years of experience?
Well, we're not doing brain surgery here. Our elections office, like I said, is very well staffed with an individual that's very competent and has a policy manual and procedure manual that she follows and works with the previous person that was in that office and also works with other counties to gain knowledge from them. So there is no issues there. That person's very competent.
It was an office of 2 and now it's 1, so we've lost 50% of the staff.
Well, you're absolutely right, and the person will be here in another week to take that office. But even though that person's not here, there are other people in these offices that do chip in and work in that office and help her when she needs help.
If I could ask a question about the
Sure.
voting process, and good morning. It's my understanding that it was announced last week that each of the precincts will be using voting machines, and that each precinct has only one voting machine. Is this true? And what protocol is put in place to ensure that long lines will not happen on the 21st of May?
Oh.
If you could talk about that.
People will be given a choice when they walk into the polling place to either use their regular paper ballot. They have to sign in using the poll pad, but they will also have a choice. You will either use the new machine or you will use a paper ballot. The reason being is that the paper ballots eventually will be terminated, but they also recognize that most people walking in are going to have their first experience with this and they probably will decline. So we know, based on the amount of turnout for a primary, number one, and number two, the hesitancy of people to change, that the use of that machine will be very, very light. As a matter of fact, we're estimating that we might have 30 if we're lucky. And the voting process is even faster using the machine, but people are not versed in the machine. They don't, I mean, they walk in and I'll show you what we know as going to happen. This is exactly what we know.
Well, that was our concern.
So, and there will be people on the board who have been instructed in the use of the machines, and we will ask you, do you want to use the machine? If you do, we can assist you, because we know. If you don't want to, here's your paper ballot, and you will use that. Next time around, maybe you won't be so intimidated by the machine. But we know that the use of it is not going to be that great.
And they are given the option as to whether or not.
Oh, one or the other. I mean, you know, you can't use both. You can use one.
And if I can just follow up that question real quick, Stacy, and then, and it's my understanding, because it's an election year for the county commissioners, that they will play no part in the voting process at all? No. And
That is
continue to
correct.
do that? Okay.
That's why there is a separate independent board of elections right now, and we do not play a part in the elections whatsoever.
So the night of the election, it will be the same as if I'm there, I could observe, but you guys are not involved, okay?
We are not involved.
Thank you.
Stacy?
Just to follow up, those machines were rolled out in last fall's election.
Well, actually,
So-
we've had machines. When did we get
Yeah.
the
Right.
other machines?
I'm
We've
just-
been here
I'm
for
talking-
12 years.
12 years
Right.
we've had
We've had
machines.
I'm just talking the new machines.
Right,
So.
yeah, yeah.
Can I just make a comment? Those voting machines are not, your vote does not get stored in that machine. It's only an auto mark. It marks your ballot. It is not, there's nothing stored in it. In the machine comes a piece of paper, like a grocery, like your CVS paper, not quite that long. But it'll come out and you'll put that in the ballot box. There's nothing stored inside of there. It's just, it marks your ballot. There's, nothing to be afraid of. And last year, in the fall election, we had the most overvotes that I can ever remember in a race, and I think it was the governor's race.
Governor's race.
They voted for both. So nobody, so I'm going to say 60%, and I don't know if that's the correct amount, but it was an overwhelming amount of votes that didn't even get counted for governor in Susquehanna County because it ended up being an overvote. So
And that's one of the things that the
got-
machine helps with. It won't allow you to overvote. So like last year, because of the way the state set up the ballots for governor and lieutenant governor, everybody was voting for all the governors and all the lieutenant governors. So, it had to be 700-800 ballots that got kicked out because people didn't understand because of the way the ballot was laid out from the state. They just kept checking everybody's name. So one advantage the machine does, you check one, it's not gonna let you check a second person for that box. So that'll help people so that they won't be doing all the overvotes too.
Any plans to get more than what we have right now, which I think ideally it's a very good idea for the future to have that, but my concern was only one per precinct. I think would be very.
Well, the original was to replace the auto marks that we had that were 15 years old, that were horrible machines and nobody wanted to use them. So these machines that we have today, this will be the first round this election, because they're not the same machine we had at the last election. They're an upgraded version now. So we'll do this election with them this time, and then we'll see how the response goes. And as we get more and more people using, we'll purchase more machines and start getting more into each precinct. And this last round that we got, most of that, or a good portion of that, was paid by grant money. And there's grant money available, which we'll keep going after to pay for it, so it doesn't get paid for by local taxpayers. Yes.
I'd also like to add that the amount of machines that would be in a particular precinct would be based on the size of the precinct.
Right.
I mean, Forest Lake has 775 voters, and in primaries, you don't get more than 20%.
Right.
No matter how hard you work.
Right.
And a number of them are, for primaries especially, we have independents or non-assigned parties, so those people don't even get to vote. This
Right.
will be the first time, in my memory, that independents will actually vote in the primary, and they're going to be voting in the special election.
Right.
And they have a separate ballot altogether.
Right.
Your color coded, isn't it?
No, they'll when they hand it out.
Any other questions, Scott? Yes.
I've been going around talking to people, and one of the concerns is funding for the public library. I wonder if you could explain how it's done. I know the township that I belong to, that I live in, we often get people from our small library in Susquehanna, which is part of the system, asking for additional funds. How do you determine the funding for the library?
Well, right now there's a tax that you pay in your tax bill that helps fund the library. That money has increased just by the assessed values increasing each year. It increases each year. The problem with public funding for the library is what the state did. The state cut the library's funding by 25%. They've not given it back to them yet. And I encourage everybody to contact their state legislators to give them pressure to work on getting that funding back to them. Our library is financially sound. They just built a $5 million library and paid cash for it. They just paid over $500,000 to renovate this building and paid cash for that. And they have millions of dollars in the bank. So they're fine. They're not struggling by any means.
But what about the branches? You know,
The branches are funded through the main library, and that is controlled by the library board.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes.
I haven't heard anything since I was Lyme Disease Awareness Month. I was kind of wondering what's going on with the task force and if we can get an update on, what's going to happen throughout the year.
Sure, we had a great program 2 Saturdays ago at Mountain View School. We had Bill Bain was there. Thank you, Bill, for coming. We had a nice crowd. We had a presentation done by the Pennsylvania Lyme Resource, a gal by the name of Michelle. She did a beautiful 45-minute presentation. Commissioner Hall was there and saw that. And then Dr. Daniel Cameron came down from Mount Kisco, New York, and he spoke for us and did a great job. So that was our big event of the year, and as the year goes on, we will be doing, I just booked us for the Hartford Fair. We'll have a table at Hartford Fair in Wolfstock, and the Community Day in Halsted, I believe it is, in June. So those are some of the things that are on the agenda for the summer months.
In addition, we still continue to work with our state legislators on the bills that are in Harrisburg to try and get those through so we can get the medical treatment we need, the diagnosis we need, get the medical profession trained so they know what they're looking for. Those are all important things that need to be done. So there's a lot of phone calls going on in Harrisburg right now trying to get things pushed along down there to get things done there too. We also had, last night we had another event, if you wanted to speak on that, that we attended and put together.
The Suicide Awareness Initiative that was founded in 2015 still continues to do events and make people aware through education. And last night was the Kevin Hines Ripple Effect. It was at the Montrose Theater. There was just under 30 people there, which was very, very disappointing to bring people, you know, we had professionals there in case someone was watching the movie and had an emotional, I don't know, memory of something and needed help, you know. So it was very well thought out, but the attendance wasn't there. And it's disappointing to have events and then not have people show up. So that one was last night, and next Tuesday is Battling Opioids, and it's at 6 o'clock at the Mountain View School Auditorium, and it's sponsored by WVIA and paid for through Geisinger, so partnering with Geisinger on this, and there will be, again, staff, you know, major organizations, agencies there to answer the questions on money's available. I guess one of the things I just want to say about substance abuse and getting through recovery and going to counseling, there are actually monies available through the Lackawanna Susquehanna Drug and Alcohol Program out of Lackawanna County, to provide transportation for people. They can get you you know, they can give you monies to go to your counseling sessions, you know, if that's what the hang-up is, that you're not going. So there's all kinds of programs and resources available. So we want people to come to this, ask the questions, ask where does the money come from, what kind of money is available, what are you doing, you know, ask those important questions because they will be there to answer them.
What night is that, Mary?
Next Tuesday, May 14th, 6 to 8 at the Mountain View School.
Yes, Bruce.
Regarding the Lyme disease, and I'm telling specifically Betsy, there was a magazine or a periodical that I read where there was an article written by, not written by, but about Tom Seaver. For those of us who don't go back that far, 1969 Mets, you gotta believe. He has declined to do any more public appearances because he fears the onset of early dementia from a tick bite.
Well, it's like Chris Christopherson, the actor and singer. They thought he had Parkinson's, and then for many years, and he was in such bad shape, and then they finally diagnosed him with Lyme and started treating for Lyme, and he's better.
Is there any county tracking of prevalence of Lyme disease? So perhaps we can get additional state money.
CDC does that tracking.
Okay.
Yeah, if you attend some of the programs, you can see the map as to the reported cases. You know, many years ago it was like a few blue dots in Pennsylvania. Now, like Pennsylvania is like 3/4 all blue with the number of cases that are getting reported. And I think that, you know, it's a disease that's taken off so fast now that, you know, I don't think they have the best reporting numbers yet as to, you know, where they are and how many people have the disease, because we still have a lot of people getting misdiagnosed. That's part of the problem. You know, people have it and they go to a facility to get treated, and they're not testing for it because of the cost and whether insurance will cover the testing. And so, you know, this Lyme disease doesn't get treated, and then as it goes on, and finally when people get to the point where they can hardly even move, that's when somebody's finally saying, well, gee, maybe you got Lyme, we should test for that and do some things there. Stacy?
It's something come across my desk this week, and I from Penn State, from researchers, I think it's their entomologist, who have basically been tracking ticks in the state since the 1960s, and the varieties of ticks. And it is now the black-legged tick is the most prevalent species that they are finding. The one that carries like Lyme and tick-borne illnesses. I do have that in my weekender. And it seems to have a lot of very good information kind of about the history and the research that they're doing at Penn State. So.
As long as you mentioned that, I'd like to just add to that. East Stroudsburg University, Binghamton University, a couple of the closer ones to us, Duke University, they've all been working on a lot of these things as well. One important thing I think I'd like to know, since there was more people here that didn't maybe catch last week's, is not only is the Lyme bacteria part of the issue, one of the issues is that we're not being diagnosed not only because the testing is faulty, but the Lyme rash doesn't show up in that many people. And that's just one part of the issue. As she mentioned, the black-legged tick is the most prevalent in the area. The dog tick is another one that carries different types of viruses that can be transmitted even faster, Powassan type things, and those are things that can kill you within 15 minutes. So it doesn't happen as often, but the other thing with the black-legged tick is they found in East Stroudsburg University, they did some studies where actually the larvae, which we didn't think was much of a threat to us, is actually carrying the Myomiati bacteria. And that one may be more prevalent than Lyme disease, and we're not being tested for these other co-infections. So there's a lot of issues that surround that. I mean, when you're talking about cancer, you're talking about prostate cancer, breast cancer, all these different cancers, and pretty much the same thing goes with Lyme disease. You're also talking about neurological Lyme. You're talking about a Lyme that's more like MS, which affects the muscles in your body. You're also talking about organs. Several organs in my body are affected by Lyme or sense Lyme disease. Now, you can't be certain until the organs are actually tested. But there's also
films?
No. There's places where you can send tissue to be tested. They used to just do the brains. Knowing that I was going to have a lot of surgeries, I put some pressures on some of the other groups, and there is now biobanks, is what they call it. And if you're having an organ or something removed, you can send your tissues in order to have those tested. There's very little though, and all of those kind of things need a lot of funding. And that's why we need the people to actually, pressure the state representatives and some of these others, because there are a lot of good bills out there that can help us with a lot of that stuff. And I guess where I was going with the question is, I know when the task force was originally set up, it was set up in quite a different format than what has transpired from it. And I'm wondering if there's going to be another look at the way it's set up, and maybe go back to the original plan on what you want to have done, in the area. Is it just going to be education? Is it going to go back to the original plan where you've got, the mix of people that are going to come in and bring in several different areas of expertise to get together on things? And for instance, the parks, I touched base with a couple of the parks, and we were talking about visitors, the Visitors Bureau and everything. And I tried to touch base with them to get some brochures and stuff out there, because when I went to New Jersey, as soon as I got across the line, there was information there about Lyme disease and how to prevent it. As soon as we got in the rooms, there was more information there. And I thought, this is great, it shows that you're helping to prevent the disease for any travelers that are coming into the area. And I thought it was great, but when I touched base with the traveler centers, they didn't want to put it in there because they were afraid that it would scare tourists away. So that's one thing. I also touched base with a couple of the parks. And there's some really good research out there from Penn State and some of the other ones, and I could give you some of the information if you need it, but they're also studying bait boxes and tick tubes and things. And we've been pushing the tick tubes because they're things that we can do at home. The bait boxes have to actually be presented with a professional pest control company. And what we're hoping is that a lot of the money that was given to the state to do the prevalence testing, like the tick dregs and things, we're hoping that not only is that going to be a basis, but they can take and put some of that money towards these bait boxes, because they're showing an 80% reduction. So if we can get the county and the state to get together and collect some of those boxes, get them out into our parks and things, because I'm hearing people say they won't take their kids to the parks because they're afraid of the ticks, nothing's being done. There's no posted signs out there to say, beware of this area, all of that kind of thing. So that was one thing that I wanted to bring up, and hopefully get maybe the county task force working on some of those areas, and maybe doing a little bit more than just education.
All right, well, thank you. Another issue that we need to keep on our back of our minds too is the spotted lanternfly. There are several counties in the state of Pennsylvania now that are quarantined as far as moving products in and out. So it is what looks like a wonderful little bug, which is a nasty bug, is is moving up through the state, so something else that we have to keep an eye on. Yes.
Just on that, New Milford Rotary and the their Interact Club at Susquehanna Community is hosting a forum, I believe, next week on that.
Yeah.
So.
Everybody should go see it, especially if you're traveling around the state and going to other counties. You should know what you could possibly be bringing back into this county. So it's not a very nice bug, yes.
One last mention for PennDOT, I don't think they are aware of the magnitude of the upcoming problem of the ash tree die-off.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, yeah.
We're gonna have countless trees falling across our roads in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a major issue with power lines and phone lines and roadways and.
Yeah, the power company, and I've been talking with the power company and with PennDOT, and they've got crews out cutting, but they know they're so far behind now. I mean, just going down the road, you can see the ash trees on the side that are already dying, and you're absolutely right. You know, we get another big, windstorm or a microburst coming through, there's gonna be a lot of trees down and a lot of problems, so. Again, that's all stuff that's on their list of things that, they need to get behind and get moving, but as I said, they're so far behind the 8 ball now, they've got to subcontract out and get some of this stuff taken care of. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned, thank you for coming.
Alan, could you pass the memorial service for the
Yeah, there is memorial services, just to remind everybody. There's, of course, ones in Montrose and Susquehanna, but there's also one at the Visitor Center for the 5 young men from Susquehanna County that lost their lives. And what time is that again?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock on Memorial, and that's on the 30th we're doing that, right?
No.